Previously on Stay in Your Lane.
Agricultural, cotton as well, agriculture, pork, beef, as you mentioned, corn and wheat. So these are the things we're really dependent on for China to buy from us. Here's Chinese dependence on us to sell goods. These are exports to the rest of the world. So the U.S. is the biggest importer from China at $3 trillion a year. If you lump all of Europe into the European Union, that's next. China. And then the next biggest one is Germany, 1.6 trillion. Well, that's half of us, half. And then Japan now comes down to like a quarter of our imports. We're still the biggest dog. We're still the biggest export market to China, from China. And that's why it's going to be so big a fight. They need us because they need us to buy their stuff. We're the biggest market that they have.
We're their consumers.
Right. Sure. They can go sell to other countries, Germany, Japan, France. They got a long way to go to make up what they could give up, what they would give up if they stopped selling to us altogether.
Okay.
So that's a pretty good, I think, that says we got to get together. That is, China really needs us. And we need China to buy our agricultural products as well. It's pretty interconnected. It's pretty interconnected. I think I've got one or two more things here. No, that's it. So I just want to go back over that real quick because imports, exports, deficits get mixed up, countries too. So we're not dependent on exports, not nearly as much as Mexico or Canada. The deficit, the difference between imports and exports is all China and Mexico. Nothing really inherently wrong with the trade deficit. This is our exports, how they're spread out by country. Again, mostly Mexico and Canada. This is our imports, mostly Mexico and Canada. And of course, most of it is autos and auto parts going back and forth across the border. They say that some auto parts go back and forth 6 times across the Mexican or Canadian border. And then we have here what the products are that China sells to us, pretty diversified, but these are the things that would be hit the most: computers, electronics, machinery, and so forth. Here's what we sell to China, and this is what would get hurt the most. Soybeans being a big one. That shows up here. And again, to interpret this, of all the sorghum that we sell, 86% goes to China. So we need that market. And this shows the exports to the world from China were by far the biggest market, 3.3 trillion. The next one's half of that. So just wanted to kind of get those numbers out there. And I can give you some of this data, John, if you want to put it on your website. Because
Absolutely.
I know it's a lot I put on there. But we think, and most economists think, that tariffs are a bad idea because they hurt more people than they help. They hurt consumers, 70% of the economy, and they help a smaller segment of the economy.
So where's the positive from here, Dan?
Well, I think that positive would be to resolve the trade war with China. Maybe get back to tariffs we had beforehand, or maybe move towards zero tariffs for both sides and have truly free and open trade. The positive will also come when everything gets settled down, when the uncertainty goes away. That will help a lot. And the positives are that if you're in steel and aluminum and automobiles, if you're manufacturers of those, it's great. It's great. You just got terrific protection, and your profits are going to go up, and you will probably be able to hire more people. So those are the positives over here. Sorry, arguments for creates jobs, increases profits, but it does, hurt consumers and businesses.
Wow. Dan, I can't thank you enough for sharing so much knowledge and so much information with us. I think everybody has a feeling or a gut impression of what it means or what it can or can't do. So the sooner this gets solved and get the baseline squared away, the better we'll all be.
Absolutely, yeah. I think everybody will want some certainty. And I think it's got to be an understanding that a trade deficit isn't necessarily a bad thing. There is, there can be tariffs that are unfair that ought to be leveled up. That's for sure. And trade deals that all could be renegotiated. It could be a more level field. Tariffs aren't, throwing really big tariffs at the situation probably is more damaging than not.
I can understand that for sure. So, you're saying you and the wife have decided you're not going to probably go out on a limb. You're going to play a little closer to the vest with the cards financially for a little while and see what happens.
Yeah. And, you saw that in some of the other data where spending dropped in January and has been, only went up a little bit in February. So, yeah, I think that behavior is going on, and that's part of the damage for sure.
I gotcha. Well, I can tell you that we've been living that way in the trucking industry for years now. The post-COVID, we're through that, and I think this has been a clawback for 3 years. We're looking for some positive as well. We'd like to see things uptick some, but I think things are going to get a little worse before they get better.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're on the upswing. I know it's been as you say, a pretty steep climb for several years for you.
Absolutely, but I think that's the industry. I mean, it's never stagnant. It's always one way or the other. And I don't think anybody could plan for the impacts that COVID had in our industry and supply chain. Remember, supply chain and transportation was on the news every day and every night.
Yep.
And
I think I have to tell you, as from where I sit, COVID was I think is still disrupting the economy, and so did 0% interest rates, which we had in place for so long, since really 2009 about.
Yep.
0% interest rates. That makes no sense at all. And I was pretty sure that was going to come back and bite us. And I think that's what's happened is those two things, 0% rates and COVID. And that's why all the economists, including me, got it wrong the last time. The fundamental nature of the economy had changed, and I don't think it's finished changing.
No, I would agree. I think the impact for a lot of people is maybe something that's not so easy to quantify. It's the workforce has changed post-COVID.
Yeah, you mean skill set?
Skill set, what people are looking for, right? There was a lot of fishing equipment sold during COVID. A lot of boats and fishing equipment. A lot of people working on the water. So I don't know that. I still think there's a percentage of people that don't want to go work the way we worked before.
Sure.
And I think that's kind of a hangover that we're feeling in all industries at some level.
Yeah, I think the idea of hybrid work, working from home, that's a different thing that I think is here for the duration.
Well, I can't thank you enough for all the knowledge and experience, and then the information that you share with us, for all of our viewers, from all of us at Triple T and Stay in Your Lane. We appreciate you very much. Look forward to seeing how this kind of unfolds across the summer. We'll get back together. You have an enjoyable spring, and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, you're not putting a red laser dot on my forehead, are you?
No. Nope.
Okay.
No.
All right.
It's just not the way it works.
All right. Good. It's nice to see you, John. See you in a while.
Thanks for being on, and we appreciate you.
Cheers. Bye bye.